We are looking into the questions of Azure data fundamentals. These are practice questions. So first question is, which data solution best describes relational database situations? A JSON document, batch of orders, product is entered in table and then refer to when the product is ordered. A list of products is presented and the list is presented another. So this is the correct answer. Then what can be said on database record as it updating required consistency with the data? So consistency in transaction. I know for the transaction we need to have atomicity, isolation, and durability. So lock should be the answer. For its characteristics regarding data workloads, select yes if the characteristics fits in analytics workloads and no if it does not. So analytic workload process a real data set. Yes, analytic workload rely on transactional. No, analytic workload use a set, that is automaticity. City, atomicity consistency. No. Okay, so I'm wrong in all the questions. Analytic workload process real time data. No. Analytic workloads rely on solid transactional workloads. It should be no. Then analytic workload use acid. So all are wrong. Analyze each aspect of data processing. Select yes if the data processing aspect is part of a batch data processing, and no if the data processing aspect is not a part of the batch data processing. Processing can be done on time intervals such as daily. Yes. So if it is batch, yes. Processing can take place a set number of times when it is ready. Yes. Processing usually occurs without latency, but batch has latency, so it should be correct. Which data processing task best describes an example of streaming data processing? So streaming means we need to have the real time uh, processing. So industrial 50 entries stock following it could be stock daily, then compare a monthly statement on real estate website recommended based on the criteria you enter. So criteria you enter means it is happening in real time. So it is streaming. For each description of batch or data stream data processing, select yes if the statement is true. Batch processing is best suited for large data set. Stream processing has higher latency. No, batch has higher latency. Batch processing is better suited for complex analysis than batch process is better for suited yes complex analysis. For each statement regarding Power BI, select yes if the statement is true and no if the statement is false. A separate dashboard is needed for each no data source. Power BI can report on Microsoft. Yes, Power BI can report on both cloud and yes. What are advantages for using the cloud to host relational workloads? So it is lower capex and higher scalability. For each description of each pieces of relational data is structure, yes if the description is true, or no if the description is false. Indexes contains a primary key may not be. A table can have multiple indexes. Yes, we use queries and store data from table. No, it will not store the data. Relational Azure data service type support instead of instances of SQL server inside of Azure for some reason. So it is nothing but infrastructure as a service. Which is statement regarding database authentication, select yes if it is true or false. Azure Active Directory can connect Azure to Azure database for MySQL. No, only its authentication. Yes, authentication is supported. Authentication is support within Azure storage file. I'm not sure about the answer. Let's see. Yeah, it's incorrect. Azure Active Data Authentication can connect users to Azure database for MySQL. Yes. So Azure Active Directory can connect users to Azure database for MySQL. Then SQL servers only support its own authentication. No, not only its own authentication, other authentication are also. Whereas Active Directory authentication is supported with Azure, so all are positive. Um, so further authentication, database authentication, Azure database. Mm, yes. For its statement regarding non-relational data characteristic, yes, statement is true. Non-relational database uses schema as a part of non-relational data is stored in table, not necessarily. Non-relational data entities should have key value pair. What happened? I didn't click it. Maybe I didn't click it. Otherwise, can I go to back? Let's see. See, I didn't click it. I don't know whether it is. Oh yeah, it is accepting. So, which data scenario best lends itself to using a non-relational data structure? So, non-relational. It is obviously IoT devices, which non-relational format in stripes rather than rows. So it is optimized row columnar data. So ORC, which of it's regarding Azure file storage. If it is true, file share can be created. File shares can be created. So by default, data is replicated within region. Yes. Data in transit is encrypted by default. No. Okay. Data in transit default. So data at rest is encrypted by default, but encryption for data in transit. So for encrypted data at rest is encrypted by default, but not the data in transit. Which two characteristics best describes a use case for ETL processing of data into the data model? So removing sensitive data, duplication. For its description for the goal of data processing, select yes if the statement is true. Data processing starts with the raw data and ends with the business model. Yes, queries are run more on run data. No, Azure functions can be used to transform the data. Data processing starts with the raw data and ends with the business model. Yes, I was a bit confused, but that's correct. Which data visualization situation would be best be fulfilled with a bar or column chart? So, bar and column chart, comparing cell amount per month, comparing location and sublocation for cells, and comparing sales amount per month for one location. It doesn't make much sense. And comparing sales amount per month by location, yeah, so location wise there will be different bar or column chart. Yeah, it's correct. Then types of analysis or analytics. So generate summaries based on the historical. It is descriptive, help to answer why. So it is diagnostic. So to achieve a goal, how to achieve a goal. So it is prescriptive, direct action is to achieve a goal. And then help to define how to handle situation based on the changing characteristics. So it is cognitive analytics. So correct. Which database query tool can connect to databases from multiple platforms? So obviously Azure Data Studio. And then here all full instance of SQL Server in the cloud, fully managed. So serverless configuration for a, so this is SQL database of managed, fully controllable instance of SQL Server in the cloud without needing to perform maintenance tasks. And if we have the server, so it is for full instance of SQL Server. So SQL Server in the cloud. Postgres. So here a table can hold several versions of data. It is MariaDB, and then an open source database management system for Linux. So it is MySQL, and then data can be stored as custom types even with non-relational properties. So when provisioning a relational data service such as Azure database, an administrator can increase the size of the memory once the service has been provisioned. This is known as scaling. So match each relational database. So I can say for the commands to be run programmatically, that is PowerShell, and then uses serialists to create or manage resources for deployment, and then this is for JSON files to store deployment information in the template. Last one is the portal pages are used to guide administrator. I'm confused in these two, Azure PowerShell and Azure CLI. So CLI programmatically script. So PowerShell is for scripts. Yeah. Oh no. Uh, so for the deployment resources for the uses cmdlets to create. So Azure CLI is commands can be stored in script that can run programmatically. I was confused with that. Nets are connected to each other by default with the web. A port is open on premises connect to the data service. Azure Data use a Azure ADES. Then winners are called by AES, and with a firewall, a port can open to allow on-premise computer to connect to the firewall. A port can be open to allow and connected to each other by default. VNets are connected to each other by default. So no, VNets are not connected to each other by default. Which relational data processing tool supports both SQL pools and Spark pool? So it is Azure Synapse Analytics. And then for each SQL keyboard indicate whether the keyboard is DML or DML. So this is DDL and this is DDL. This is DML. So next one is which Azure data tool supports building queries for both Azure SQL database and Azure database for Postgres. So it is Azure Data Studio. And then which tool within Power Platform is used to build workflow for automating. So Power Automate is the answer. Drag each non-relation data server needs to be correct. So Azure Blob is for the video and audio. Azure Table Storage is for the semi-structure, and then File is for shared folders. Mm. When provisioning non-resident, the amount of resources such as this is base CPU capability increased, so it is scaling. And for each statement regarding the deployment methods for non-relational data services, yes, if it is true, so Azure run on, yes, it is true. Then PowerShell run exclusively, no, not only on Windows. It will work on other as well. Mac OS and Linux. Azure Resource Management, store deployment information, store deployment, so template. We had the similar questions, and now it is in JSON format. So let me see store, no, so it's correct. Then for each of the, yes, if the service is relational data, Cosmos, no, it is not relational. It is also not relational, and MySQL is relational. When using Azure Blob storage, what needs to be created within the storage account before Blob can be uploaded in the, so we need to create the container before we say. So for data services as a Cosmos to be required, connect authentication is required before the connection. So for the storage connectivity for storage accounts, yes or no. Specific virtual networks need to be specified for a specific access to the storage account, no. And for the on-premise devices to account, its IP address needs to be added to the account firewall. Yes, exception to rules on this access include allowing Microsoft exception to rule, exceptions to set rules on, say, include allowing yes. So which Cosmos DB implements a graph, so it is Gremlin. For each statement regarding Azure table storage, yes, if it is true. Azure table storage uses the NoSQL key value model. Yes, keys are the combination of the partition key and the row key. Point queries fetch contiguous rows within the partition. So it is the range queries, not the point queries. So which Azure tool can be downloaded to a desktop computer and then create a blob container file cell, so it is Storage Explorer. Azure is Storage Explorer. And for each statement regarding batch processing and real-time processing, select yes if it is true. Azure Data Factory can operate a data warehouse in real time with the latest data from the original data set. It is no. Batch processing is better, yes, than the real one for the large amount of data. Batch processing is better than real for performing aggregate functions. Batch, so yeah, aggregate function we need to have a lot of data is better. Then oh no, batch processing is better than real. Oh, so yeah, for basic aggregate function, real time processing is better. So yeah, I was confused. For other analysis, batch processing is better, but for the basic aggregate functions, real time processing is better. Paginated reports can be built on the no, as far as I know. I don't know. It is in desktop. I have not noticed it. So yeah, it could be pro licensed because I have not used any paginated report yet. Because maybe it is licensed one. That's why. The data for the paginated report must come from a single data source. I don't think it is true. Yeah, it is correct. Which Power Platform tool is built interactive reports both relational and non? So report obviously Power BI, and then each statement describes the characteristic of Power BI dashboard in Power BI. Power BI consists of the tiles. Yes, dashboard can fit across multiple pages. Can fit. No, dashboard is I think one can fit. Visualization can be made interactive on the mobile devices. Yes. A data analyst is using Azure's Synapse Analytics to set up data with the data. Many aggregate functions will need it on the data. Which kind of store should be created for the data that will be aggregated? So it is column store. Easy to aggregate, create aggregate function. Evaluate each data situation from the situation the data should be recommended. Data needs to be stored in the data warehouse is recommended. Data needs to be stored in the relational data is non-wrangled. Yes, non-relational combined in the dataset that can be used for querying and analysis. Combined. Yes, I'm not sure, but it is correct. Data needs to be wrangled. Relational and non-relational data needs to be combined into a data set. Then we need data warehouse. Then what is not needed? Data needs to be stored in the relational tables. For each statement regarding data warehouse architecture and workload, modern data warehouse can contain both relational and yes, data is first ingested and stored in. No, it is stored in data lake. Azure analysis services build reports of the data warehouse. No, because Power BI builds the reports of data in the data warehouse, not the Azure analysis services. Which data service stores raw data as the part of the process to build a data warehouse? Which data stores raw data? So data warehouse process. So it is data lake. Which data service makes external data appear as though it consists of the tables in the SQL server database? Polybase is the answer. So pipeline orchestration or pipeline is a group of activities that helps. Then orchestration is uh, the process of connecting services, and then linked services is the connection information, and then data set is the data set to ingest. And the last question: which two data processing options are clustered nodes to process data? So it is for the big data, Azure and Azure SD Insight. Finished. So I got 900 out of 1000, and let me review the missed question. So for its characteristics regarding data workload, yes, it fits in the analytic workload. Analytic workload process real-time data, and analytic workloads rely on solid analytic uses is no, and the analytic workload processes real data, rely on solid transaction and workload, and then it is no, still, so it should be no. Analytic workload process real time data. Okay, and then next is Which of the following database authentication? So Azure Active Directory can connect the user to Azure database for MySQL. Yes. SQL Server only supports its own authentication. No. And authentication is supported within Azure file storage. Yes, I'm not sure. Again, for this one can connect users to Azure database for MySQL. Yeah, it should be true. Hmm. Then this one is now I'll not get confused because Azure CLI is the uh, commands can be in the Azure CLI commands can be stored to run them programmatically. In Azure's parcel is for the CDlets to create manage deployments, and Azure Dishes Manager template is for the JSON files to store the deployment information. And then Azure portal is the correct answer. Then for each statement regarding connectivity to a relational data services, yes, VNets are connected to each other by default. No. With the firewall, the open promises to connect to the data. Yes. Azure process can use Azure. Yes. So Azure. Yes. I think okay. It is no. So on the firewall port can be opened to allow on-premise and with the firewall. A port can be opened to allow on-premise computer to connect to data services. So port can be opened. So it is not possible. That's why no is the answer. Then Azure Data Factory can update a data warehouse in real time with the latest. No, batch processing is better than this is correct, and batch processing is better than real time processing for the aggregate. No, last time I said yes. Actually, it is no. Real time is better. Oh my goodness, what did I do? So it should be yes. Azure Data Factory can update a data warehouse in real time with the latest data from the original data sources. Is it data factory, data lake, or data factory? So this is it. So result is still same. Just we have reviewed the missed questions.